Ivory bag rings are small, circular objects that were used to fasten bags, pouches, and other items to belts or clothing. They were a common feature of dress accessories in the early medieval period, particularly in Anglo-Saxon England. However, recent research has revealed that these ivory bag rings may have had their origins in Africa. The study, conducted by researchers at the University of York, analyzed the chemical composition of ivory bag rings found in Anglo-Saxon graves. The researchers used a technique called strontium isotope analysis, which can provide information about the geographical origin of the ivory. The results of the study showed that the ivory used to make the bag rings likely came from regions in West Africa, such as modern-day Nigeria and Cameroon. This was surprising, as it had previously been thought that the ivory used in Anglo-Saxon England came from elephants that lived in Europe. The findings of the study suggest that there was a significant trade network between West Africa and Anglo-Saxon England during the early medieval period. It is likely that the ivory was traded along a series of routes that connected West Africa to the Mediterranean, and then onwards to England. The use of African ivory in Anglo-Saxon England is not entirely surprising, as there is evidence of trade between the two regions dating back to the Roman period. However, it is interesting to note that the trade in ivory continued even after the collapse of the Roman Empire and the emergence of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. The ivory bag rings found in Anglo-Saxon graves were likely used by both men and women, and they were often decorated with intricate designs. The rings would have been attached to belts or clothing using a loop of leather or cord, and they would have been used to hold small items such as coins, keys, or personal items. The use of ivory bag rings in Anglo-Saxon England is indicative of the importance of personal adornment and the display of wealth in early medieval society. The Anglo-Saxons were known for their elaborate dress and jewelry, which often included precious metals, gemstones, and other luxury materials. The discovery that the ivory used in these bag rings came from West Africa highlights the interconnectedness of the early medieval world and the importance of trade in shaping cultural exchange. It also provides a fascinating glimpse into the material culture of early medieval England and the ways in which people used objects to express their identity and social status. However, the use of ivory in early medieval Europe also raises important ethical questions. The trade in ivory has a long history of exploitation, and it is important to consider the impact of this trade on the African elephant populations. The use of ivory bag rings in Anglo-Saxon England was just one small part of a larger global trade in luxury goods, but it reminds us of the complex ethical and environmental issues that are still relevant today. In conclusion, the recent discovery that ivory bag rings found in Anglo-Saxon graves have their origins in Africa is a fascinating development that sheds new light on the trade networks and material culture of early medieval England. The use of African ivory in Anglo-Saxon England highlights the interconnectedness of the early medieval world and the importance of trade in shaping cultural exchange. However, it also raises important ethical questions about the impact of the ivory trade on elephant populations and the need to consider the wider implications of our material culture and consumption patterns.